Hello guys, it's Modest Major here, bringing you a commentary over some 33 and 2 Simplex Capture the Flag gameplay. Simplex is still a fantastic map to me. I know I've gotten the majority of my gameplays on it, I think. Haven is still probably my favourite. Haven is just a map that never feels like there's a part of the map which goes unused, wasted space. Every part of the map of Haven seems as important as the other, and I think that's due to the circular nature of the actual way that the map is built. It feels like you are always going to come back to where you started. And it also feels like in Haven that there's no part of the map that is, not integral to map control. If a team gets a hold of top red street, that can be beneficial to the team. If a team gets a hold of top blue street, that can be beneficial to the team. If a player gets a hold of top middle, bottom middle, every part of the map, it doesn't feel like you're wasting your time in any part of the map. If you're fighting in one part of the map and you've got power weapons in one part of the map, you can still be a lethal force. And I like that. Haven is just, a great map. And, for me, it's kind of the Guardian of this game. And I know a lot of people would be like, you can't compare it to Guardian. Guardian's incredible. From Halo 3. That's a Halo 3 map if you didn't know. But Guardian to me still had its problems, not its problems plural, but its problem. I really don't like the idea of the sniper spawn up top on Guardian, and the ability to be able to head glitch really easily. If you didn't know, head glitching is when you're hiding behind a piece of cover, and only your head shows out, but still you are able to shoot and aim your gun as effectively as possible. And it's something that happens more within the Call of Duty franchise, but when it happens in this game, it can be equally frustrating. And if you add a head glitching spot into a map, chances are players will use it, and use it they did in Guardian, because, if there was a weaker player whose shot wasn't necessarily as good, they could use the head glitching spot on Guardian in order to be able to gain an advantage. And sometimes it just felt a little bit too easy. Maybe I'm being overly critical, but that's just my opinion. But still, I'm not complaining about Guardian. Guardian is still one of the best Halo maps of all time. It's an incredible map, and apart from that, there are very few problems in my eyes on Guardian. I'm trying to think. Spawn camping top gold, can be kind of annoying, but, that's not really a problem. That's just the team. If the team is good enough, they gain control of that area. Apart from that, I don't know. I don't see really any problems with Guardian. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about is kind of a concept I thought of the other night as well. I was just trying to, when I'm not playing Halo, when I'm, just sitting around doing nothing, a lot of the time I even like to think about Halo. Halo is just a lot of the time on my mind, because it is a very interesting game, and you can constantly find newer ways to analyze your playstyle and critique your playstyle and think, how could it be better? And I often think, how am I so different to Dragoon? How am I so different to Schmeckledorf? We all have different playstyles and stuff like that. And in comparison to Dragoon, I feel like me and Dragoon have exactly opposite mentalities when it comes to what is an okay gameplay style. I feel like if he was to review some of the replays I got on a regular basis, when you see a lobby like this, when I'm going 33 for 2, it's quite hard to actually see mistakes that I make on a regular basis. But if he were to see one of my more mistake-laden games, if he was to see one of the games that went horribly wrong, he would cut into me like a butter knife. He would know exactly all the dumb mistakes that I was making. I would break some of his golden rules. I would break some of his rules of you cannot rush, a power weapon at that time. That was a bad move. You cannot rush top middle at that time. That was a bad move. And I do make these mistakes. A lot of the mistakes you see in replay reviews from the lower level players, I will make those mistakes. I will make those mistakes even worse, and I will screw them up. But the way I see it, the way I was taught to play, or the way I've learned to play, is I purposely break those golden rules. I purposely break those golden rules in order to be able to gain, traction. And gain, speed, gain an advantage that other players can't necessarily obtain. Because when you break these golden rules, 9 times out of 10 it might not work for you. And until your aim and movement gets solid enough, it's going to go badly no matter what. And I learned that the hard way when I was a lower level player, because I always wanted to play in this playstyle. And, you know, early Halo 2 days, early Halo 3 days, I would have gotten crushed. And it's only now that I've managed to play, you know, closer to a more consistent gameplay style. But I'm still no way near as consistent as Dragoon. And the way I see it, let's say, you know, there's a piece of cheese, and, you know, within the cheese, you know, in front of the cheese, there are these obstacles. Let's say there's mouse warriors. 2 mouse warriors there, 1 mouse warrior on the left. Now, Dragoon would get into that situation and analyse that there's a cheese, and he'd say, right, cheese is top priority, we need to go for that cheese, and we're going to, you know, implement as many strategies and tactics as we physically can. You, and then he'd point to another teammate, go that way, and you go that way, go left, and we both have both of our sides covered, and I will play a support role for this, you know, battle until we get the cheese. And 9 times out of 10 he would get that cheese, because the tactics were, you know, implemented at such a finesse level, at such a, you know, a concentrated level. Whereas me, if I was in that team of Dragoon, I would have rushed straight to the cheese. I would have gone straight forward. I would have not listened to a word he said. I would have just gone. And 9 times out of 10, that could be extremely damaging. It could be like, you know, what were you thinking, Major? You died. But then, there is the odd occasion where I will have gotten to that cheese in a faster time than anyone has gotten to that cheese before. I will have gotten to that cheese in a way that felt, you know, essentially pointless. It would have felt like a waste of time. But you play the certain team, and you play the certain amount of good shot, and you play your cards right, you might get to that cheese in a faster time than no one else has gotten, and you might get to that cheese in a more spectacular way than you thought possible, like jumping over the heads of the 2 mouse warriors, shooting them in the back of the head, then just pointing to the other mouse warrior and sniping him in the head or something like that, and you get some cool play. And although that happens more rarely, I play for the adrenaline and the excitement of that happening, because that is just what motivates me. Even if I go through a lot of games and, you know, it's like no success, oh, you failed again, Major, why don't you play more defensively? I start getting a little bit down on myself, but then that 1 in 10 games will come along and I will crush. And when I do that, that excitement alone is enough to keep me going for another 10 games. And Dragoon's mindset would be one of, I don't want those 9 horrible games to happen. I want to make sure that all 10 of those games goes as well as physically possible. And I understand his point of view, but I have to side with my point of view, because that's just how my playstyle came along. Anyway, I've been Modest Major. I hope you guys see where I'm coming from. Peace out.